Alright, what's going on, ladies and lads? In today's classic Modern Warfare 2 commentary, this is the third episode of the series. I'm going to be talking about the future. So, to get started on this episode, I will just talk briefly about the gameplay. I was playing with one of my friends on Xbox, Josh. He had just 1v1'd me, and then we decided to play a few public matches as well together. I'm looking at him there. So it's a 15-4, I think my final score was, gameplay on Afghan, using a silenced ACR and the silenced Akimbo G18s. It's such a good class. I love this class because it lets you stay completely off the radar of the minimap, and it's really quiet because I'm using Ninja as well. So it's pretty decent gameplay. I think 15-4, just above a 3 KD, is pretty decent. And I got some kill streaks as well. Anyway, enough about the gameplay. I don't like commentaries if they talk about the gameplay for too long, because it's kind of like, well, it's self-explanatory. I'm going to see the gameplay, so you don't need to talk about it that much. Anyway, in today's commentary, I'm going to be talking about the feeling of fear, and this fear associated with the future and having an uncertain future. What I mean specifically is being a little afraid, or even just worried, or thinking a lot about what lies ahead for you. I know we all do it a lot. We all have periods of our life where we're kind of thinking of what will be coming next, and we're worrying about that. So I guess a good way to get you, the listener, involved is just ask you, have you ever been afraid of the future? Because the answer is most likely yes. I know I have been, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about my experience with that. So, what I mean specifically is you're not anticipating something bad happening at all, but it's kind of the opposite. You don't know what is coming ahead, and you don't know what lies ahead, and as a result, that can be stressful. You're thinking, well, where am I going to be? And even if you have a very strong hunch that you're going to be in a good place, it's the journey to getting there which can be stressful to think about, and really to not know. My example is that this year I finished another year of university, and it's my penultimate year, meaning that next year will be my last one. And this year I had to make quite a few decisions about my future, really. Specifically regarding next year and where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing. Like, I'll still be at university, but because I'm studying a degree which is a joint degree, meaning there are two subjects involved, I don't have to choose one to specialize in, but I did have to make decisions regarding the assessment of both of these options. So that's what was, I guess, kind of stressing me out, and I didn't really know. And I think all university students think this, like, will my degree lead to like a job? Will I have a job after uni? Um, it's something that's kind of tough to think about, especially in the current day, in the current, I guess, economic climate, you could call it. The job market isn't great. I think it's the worst it's been since 2008 for quite a few countries. Um, so that can be stressful to think about, and just general adulting as well, having to think about getting starting a career after university. Because I feel like when you start university, and when you're young, I guess, like I am right now, you feel like you have all the time in the world. But I've heard from many people that you really don't, and that time goes quickly. Um, so I guess what my fear of the future was uncertainty of like what exact direction I want to go in. Like, I know the general direction, and I know what I want to do, but it's just how to get there was the uncertain part. And on top of that, as with school or university, you have grades, certain grades that you need to try and get. You need to perform well, and that can be uncertain. You can be good at a class, and you can think, oh yeah, I'm going to do well in this class, but then there can be others where you're not exactly sure how you're going to do. And if you don't do as well as you want, that could have, well, it would influence your future, which is a really stressful concept just because of the amount of pressure. And I think, in a more general sense, let's take it back here a little bit. The future is stressful in nature just because it's unknown. I mean, I've already said that. It's the uncertainty of the future really that's more stressful than anything. And in a more in a broader, more general sense, it's the future of the world is kind of, I mean, it's scary to think about. There are things like a World War III or the pandemics and whatnot. There are always threats to this little planet that we call home. And sometimes you see things on the news that can be kind of stressful, and you're thinking, wow, well, that's like, this could get worse in the future, and what will the future be like? How will I be doing in like 10, 15, 20 years time? No one really knows, and I think that's the scary part. But equally, because no one knows, that's also kind of the reassuring part, and I'll explain what I mean. Because you don't know what the future holds, there's no point in getting stressed out about it. I mean, that's what I keep telling myself for handling my university stress. It's like, I don't know how exactly I'm going to do. I just know that I can try my best to give myself the most lucrative option and put my best foot forward. And as long as I give my all in my uni work and my exams and whatnot, then I don't know how well I'm going to do, but I will know that I know that I will have put my best foot forward. So I'll have achieved the best future that's possible to me. And when I talk about being scared of the future and the future being stressful, it can be like the near future, or it can be the distant future. Like I already talked about, the near future, it can be stressful. For example, I'll be finding out how I did my exams in like less than a month, and that's pretty stressful for me. But then the distant future is more the state of our world, of our planet, of the economy as well. So yeah, I am not exactly ashamed to admit it that I kind of get scared of the future sometimes, and admittedly, it's gotten like a lot better. I'm not really scared of it now. I'm welcoming the future with open arms. As cringy as that does sound, I'm not really afraid of what the future holds. But there was a point during my uni year where I was pretty scared of it, and I was really uncertain what was in store for me, and how I was going to do grades wise. So that can get pretty stressful. But my advice would be just embrace it, because you don't know what's going to happen. So try your best to make your future the best one possible. Anyway, the gameplay is coming to an end there. 15-4 gameplay. I could have gotten more kills if we'd had more time in the team deathmatch, but I didn't get time to call my Harrier in or use my Predator missile. But 15-4 is still a pretty decent score. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy or find any of this relatable at any point, please feel free to just click that like button. And I thank you for watching, and I bid thee farewell and a good day.